Hello and welcome. This is the Inferno Podcast, episode 15. This is the podcast where we talk about feeding the wolf and which wolf to feed, which is always going to be beneficial for you and humanity to feed the good wolf, not the bad wolf. We all have that duality. We all have that polarity within us. So here we are, episode 15. Today's episode is about closure. Giving yourself closure after a toxic relationship. This is a must on your healing journey, because if you have been in a relationship with a toxic person, they don't come to you like an adult. They don't come to you and lay it out on the table and communicate with you that there are issues. They don't come to you and communicate with you as like a real adult does and just lay it all out on the table and try to communicate and express how they're feeling inside. All of that torment that I talk about that a narcissist or a toxic person has within them, they do not self-reflect, but they don't internalize in a healthy way neither. So they're not going to come to you and say, hey, say you're in a relationship, or it can be any relationship. I use a lot of times an intimate partner because this is what I've experienced. So in a marriage, they will not come to you and say, listen, husband or wife, I'm having these thoughts within myself, or be open and honest with you on perhaps being tempted by lust or another person, or I'm not feeling quite right on how I'm feeling in the relationship. So they don't come to you in a healthy way and communicate. So they will never leave you in a healthy way. They will never leave you in any kind of way of helping you have a good, healthy grasp of closure. So you have to give this to yourself. So one of the ways that I've realized is, in order to give myself closure, because a lot of times these people will blindside you, they will just left field you. If they are done with you, they're going to just kind of blindside you. They want the best bang for their buck to continue their toxicity. They don't want what's best for you. They don't want what's best for themselves. They're very impulsive. So if they blindside you, and basically this is what happened with me, left field. Did not know this person was not happy because I didn't realize this person was a toxic narcissist. I always mistaken their issues for alcoholism. And so what this person did was leave me spinning. And this was not a short-term relationship. And even if it was a short-term relationship, the way they end it is so blindside, so left field, so very immature that they could leave you spinning even if it's a 6 months relationship. So for me, it was 12 years, completely blindsided. Left me spinning, of course, because I thought the marriage was better than ever. This person made me believe that the marriage was better than ever. And in all actuality, they were playing themselves. They were playing me. They were playing the third party they brought into the situationship, the affair partner. And so they just blindsided me, left me spinning. This person knew already that I've been diagnosed with PTSD from the loss of my son, did not care. This person knew the light, knew the love within me, knew the integrity, knew that my wedding vows meant so very much to me. And so they have to get their best bang for the buck. They are skating off to their new supply. They never leave you unless there's somebody else. So let's make sure that you get that clear. Don't care what their words are. Trust your intuition and trust your gut. They will never leave you unless there's already somebody else lined up. So giving yourself closure, back to that. You have to give yourself closure. And one of the ways that I've processed and was able to give myself closure was, first of all, my faith. I have very strong faith. I'm not religious, but I do believe in God, Creator. And so my very first thing was laying it out to God. And God knows all of our hearts. And so when you seek and you ask for clarity, you will get it. if you're a seeker like myself. So my faith is the number one thing for giving myself closure. If you don't have faith, I suggest getting some, especially as we're going forward. That's 2024. Secondly, how I've given myself closure is to stop sugarcoating the behavior and the level of disrespect that I've been witnessing and been treated like shit for years. Again, it always wasn't just shitty, or else I would have been awake to it. There was highs and lows. Toxic, narcissistic people love the hot cold. They love to keep you in instability where they're at. So being able to see the level of disrespect for what it truly is how another way that you can give yourself closure. Stop giving excuses for their behavior. Stop giving excuses for their lying. Stop giving excuses for their deceiving and their cheating, and see the situationship for what it truly is. If you're an empath or sensitive one like myself, I have a very forgiving heart, but I've had to come to realize that healthy boundaries and being a doormat is not being forgiving, right? Forgiveness is for those who err and then learn from their mistakes and get better. A narcissistic or toxic person runs on cycles. They're never going to change for the better. They are going to continue the cycle. So the same repeated patterns, whether it be ghosting, whether it be silent treatments, whether it be lying to you straight to your face, because trust me, they will look right into your eyes and lie to you and have no problem with it. You have to see the level of disrespect for what it truly has been, and then elevate yourself in your worth. Remember your worth. If you've lost it, if the toxic person has chiseled away at your self-confidence, start remembering your core. Start remembering your roots. Start remembering that you are loved and deserve to be loved and reciprocated. And that's how you're going to give yourself the closure. But number one to me is first tethering to God. Number two is seeing the level of disrespect for what it truly is without any sugarcoating, right? Because a lot of us even start to deceive ourselves because we think we're so in love with this person that's not even real. Or you take your wedding vows, marriage vows, that covenant very seriously. And we know that as an empath, everybody's has imperfections and flaws. But when it's something so the level of disrespect of continually lying, cheating, betraying, we have to see the reality of it and stop deceiving ourselves, because this person's never going to change for the better. So a few of the things that I want to also add on here that will help you to give yourself closure on your healing journey are the following self-care tips. And I do not want to swallow a lemon seed, so I'll spit that out. We have to continue on the healing journey and know that this person doesn't want you to have healthy closure. And the reason they do this is because they know your worth. And they feel so low inside, even though they deny it, because they're liars, they're deceivers, they're cheaters. And again, like I said, they never leave you to be alone. There's always somebody else. They will not leave you unless they have somebody else already in line to take your place. So just remember this. You're not replaceable. They think you are, but you're not. So just remember that. So focus your energy, by giving yourself closure, focus the energy on yourself. So I know in the beginning there's going to be a lot of ruminating, especially if you don't know the level of toxicity that you've been in, and you're going to have to process that. There's a lot of ruminating. There's a lot of feeling like you've been defeated. There's a lot of deep, deep hurt because of the level of betrayal these people inflict upon you. So you got to focus your energy on self-care and healing for yourself, because that is the step to being able to bring healthy closure for yourself. Again, this person who's toxic or a narcissist will never give you closure because they do not come to you and communicate in a real, authentic, genuine, because they literally cared about you but maybe just fell out of love with you. That's a healthy person. A healthy person would come to you and lay it all on the table and, possibly see if there was anything that we could do as a couple to work through issues, because let me just remind everybody, no relationship should just be easy. There's things to work through. So prayer and meditation is another thing that's helping me on my journey with closure, tethering to the divine, quieting the mind, because that helps stop the rumination. Counseling of any kind. I've found on my journey, since the loss of my child in 2014 and now being blindsided by a 12-year fake marriage, that you have to sometimes go to sources that have been through similar situations. So for instance, for me, speaking to other people who've been through the loss of a child. For instance, for me, speaking to other people that you trust that have been in a relationship that was either toxic or with a narcissist. So close friends to talk to are very important. I mean, silence and meditation and alone time is very important as well too, but have to be able to get things up and out in order to heal. So nourishing food, not just what you take in through your mouth for nourishing food, but learning about what narcissistic or toxic relationships are in the beginning is very vital and very important. It's an awareness that you got to have to know that, oh my God, there's going to be so many aha moments for you when you start educating yourself on a toxic or a narcissistic relationship, because they all go by the same playbook. But don't consume your days by just that all the time. Still make time for things that bring you joy, even if it's the simplicity of sitting outside underneath of a tree, being in nature, whatever it is for you. Learning astrology is one of my things too. So, and it's important as well to ground your body. You have so much hurt, grief, processing. So being able to communicate with other people that you trust, that have been through it themselves, but also being present in your body, taking a nice warm Epsom salt bath, getting plenty of fluids. Rest comes very difficult in the beginning, so magnesium, breath work, taking nice deep breaths into your belly. I mean, grief of a relationship that you're mourning that was never real in the beginning is so mind-bending. So I definitely suggest that you give yourself closure by educating yourself, by prayer, meditation, nourishment, things that you take in through your eyes, watching things or listening to 532 hertz frequency music. Try to get good rest. Salt baths. Allow yourself to mourn. Do not try to skip the steps of grieving, because this is a process. You're mourning and grieving a relationship that you thought was, that ends up not being what you was. So you're still going to grieve, even if this person is toxic and they gave you no closure, you are still going to go through a grieving process. Do not bypass it. I learned in my journey early on with PTSD, the more that I would have the visuals of finding my son lifeless and resisting them, the worse and the more intense that they came. So sometimes when you go low, and you're just feeling heavy, you're feeling like you can't get out of bed, you're crying, you're angry, allow yourself to go there, but just don't stay there. So give yourself closure by seeing the level of disrespect, because I guarantee you, if you have been in a relationship, which I call situationship, with a toxic narcissistic person, it wasn't just a one-time incident of like, I made a mistake. It's a repeated pattern. Open your eyes for what it is, and do go on your journey of giving yourself closure, because this person isn't even healthy enough to communicate with you. They'll never be honest with you. They are master deceivers and liars. Give yourself the closure. You are so much more worthy than be treated with the level of disrespect that these toxic people bring into your life. Never allow yourself to feel belittled by them, even though they try to do that to you. And again, I'm not religious, but I do believe in the power of God, prayer, meditation, tether into the divine, listening to my own intuition, the Holy Spirit within me. So make sure you do that so you can ground back into the reality of what exactly you just went the hell through, and it was very toxic. I hope this helps you. Until the next episode, shalom, shalom.